Welcome to Money Depth Insights. I am the finance guide, Nell. Today, we are talking about the silent money traps that quietly keep people broke, not through dramatic mistakes or reckless behavior, but through everyday habits that feel normal, harmless, and even justified. Most financial struggles do not come from one big bad decision. They come from 1,000 small choices that slowly drain progress. These choices rarely feel dangerous in the moment. They feel reasonable, comfortable, earned. That is why they are so powerful. One of the most common traps is lifestyle inflation. This happens when spending rises every time income rises. A raise arrives, and within a few months, life quietly becomes more expensive. A better phone plan, a nicer apartment, more meals out, more subscriptions, more convenience. None of these upgrades feel irresponsible. Together, they erase the benefit of earning more. Lifestyle inflation creates the illusion of progress while freezing actual wealth building. People feel like they are moving forward because their lifestyle looks better, but their financial foundation remains unchanged. Savings stay flat. Debt remains. Stress continues. The problem is not enjoying money. The problem is upgrading life before upgrading stability. Another silent trap is normalization of small expenses. Daily spending habits rarely feel important. Coffee, snacks, delivery fees, app subscriptions, ride shares. Small comforts that quietly become permanent. People underestimate how much these habits compound over time. The danger is not the expense itself. It is the lack of awareness. When spending becomes automatic, it stops feeling like a decision. Money leaves without intention. Over months and years, this creates financial leakage that is hard to notice but easy to feel. A closely related trap is convenience addiction. Modern life makes it easy to trade money for time, comfort, and effort reduction. Food delivery instead of cooking. Online shopping instead of waiting. Paid apps instead of free alternatives. These choices are not wrong. The problem is when they become default behavior rather than conscious decisions. Convenience costs compound quietly. People rarely calculate how much convenience is costing them annually. When they do, the number is often shocking. Another silent trap is emotional spending. People use money to regulate mood more often than they realize. Stress leads to purchases. Boredom leads to shopping. Fatigue leads to takeout. Celebrations lead to upgrades. None of this feels extreme. It feels human. The problem is that emotional spending creates patterns, not just moments. When spending becomes the reward or relief mechanism, money stops serving long-term goals and starts serving short-term feelings. Hidden habits also include impulse upgrades. People replace things before they need replacing. A phone that still works. A car that still runs. Furniture that still functions. Upgrading feels like progress. In reality, it is often just accelerated depreciation. Impulse upgrades are rarely planned. They are triggered by exposure. Ads. Social media. Friends. Promotions. The emotional logic is always the same. I deserve this. I worked hard. This will make life easier. Sometimes that is true. Often it is just expensive distraction. Another silent trap is minimum payment thinking. Credit cards and loans are designed to make payments feel manageable. Minimum payments create comfort. They also create long timelines. Long timelines create massive interest costs. People focus on whether they can afford the payment instead of whether the purchase was necessary. This shifts decision-making away from long-term cost and toward short-term comfort. Subscription creep is another overlooked trap. Subscriptions are designed to be invisible. Small monthly charges feel harmless. Over time, people forget what they are paying for. Gym memberships, streaming services, apps, software, music, cloud storage. These expenses quietly become part of the financial background. Canceling them feels like effort. Keeping them feels easier. This laziness tax adds up. Another subtle trap is treating bonuses and extra income as free money. When people receive unexpected income, they often spend it without planning. New gadgets, trips, dining, gifts, celebrations. This feels harmless because the money was not expected. The problem is that extra income is the easiest opportunity to accelerate financial stability. When it is consumed instead, progress is delayed. People also fall into the trap of future income optimism. They assume earning more later will fix current habits. They delay discipline. They postpone saving. They rationalize spending. This optimism creates dependency on future versions of themselves. Often, future income does arrive, but habits expand with it. The financial position stays the same. Another silent trap is comparing your life to people who are not financially honest. Social media shows lifestyles, not balance sheets. People compare their private struggles to public highlights. This creates pressure to spend in order to feel normal. People upgrade their lives to match appearances rather than plans. They chase images instead of building outcomes. Hidden habits also include ignoring small debt balances. People carry small credit card balances or personal loans and tell themselves it is not a big deal. They pay interest for years on amounts that could have been cleared with a few months of focus. Small debts drain mental energy. They create background stress. They slow progress. People underestimate how powerful debt freedom feels because they normalize being in debt. Another trap is delaying financial organization. People avoid tracking spending. They avoid reviewing statements. They avoid checking balances. This avoidance creates blind spots. Blind spots create mistakes. Mistakes create stress. Financial clarity feels uncomfortable at first. Over time, it becomes calming. Awareness restores control. The most dangerous money traps are not dramatic. They are invisible. They are habits that feel normal. They are behaviors that feel earned. They are decisions that feel justified. People who escape these traps usually do not make one big change. They make many small adjustments. They slow down upgrades. They reduce convenience spending. They cancel unused subscriptions. They pay off small debts aggressively. They automate savings. They become intentional. Wealth is not built by extreme frugality. It is built by controlled behavior. It is built by awareness. It is built by aligning spending with purpose. The real shift happens when people stop asking what they can afford and start asking what they are trading away. Every expense trades future options for present comfort. When spending becomes intentional, money stops leaking quietly. Progress becomes visible. Stress decreases. Stability grows. Most people stay broke not because they are reckless, but because they are unconscious. They let habits decide their financial future. When you bring habits into awareness, everything changes. If this perspective helped you see your money habits more clearly, share your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe this understanding can help someone in your colleague or friend circle, make sure to share it with them. Education grows when knowledge is shared. This video is created for educational purposes only. For more calm, practical, and long-term financial understanding, subscribe to Money Depth Insights. I am the Finance Guide, John Nell, and I will see you in the next session.